Big stretch. Oh, probably should have done that before I started going live, huh? Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. I'm Monk. This is Monkey in the Morning, and we're here to chat. Little later than I planned to be. I got distracted, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I lost track of time watching YouTube videos. My bad. It's just kind of one of my failings in life. I'm a grown up, y'all. How are you guys? Hope you're well. I'm pretty good. Hey, what's up, Scribbles? How you doing, man? I'm doing pretty good today. Not enough sleep again, but otherwise well. And yeah, then I, went on the internet and got annoyed at the news again. I really need to stop watching the news. I need to stop paying attention to it because all it does is piss me off. All it does is irritate me. We're going to go on a journey tonight, guys. We're going to check out CNN just a little bit, just a little tiny thing. We're gonna look at a tale of two stories. That's why it's the thumbnail name, and it's amazing to me how they keep getting away with this. How our mainstream media, the legacy media, as they say, keeps getting away with such blatant bullshit. Wants to go? Oh, sure, Scribbles. Hang on, let me send you a link, bud. I'm not. How do I want to put this? I'm not surprised by it because I've been paying attention to the media for a long, long time. But it gets frustrating how often it happens and how they get away with it with each other. You would think that, like maybe that they would want to be better than the other guys, right? Like you see one group fucking up real bad, even if you're on the same side stuff, but if you want to be the news leader, so go out there and lead with the news, right? Go out there and be the ones who are actually telling the truth, who are doing the job right. But no, they're just like, nobody cares if we just lie constantly. Connect, thank you, says Iran might be done for. Why? What's Iran doing? The only thing I know recently about Iran is Ian and his wife out there talking about how a guy who lived in Iran talking shit about how bad it is to live in Iran just didn't know what he was talking about. But don't worry, the Jomas know as they live in a basement in Canada. They're intimately familiar with it. Hey, what's up, Scribbles? How you doing, my friend?
Doing all right. Good evening, Monkey. Good evening, everybody.
And
Hope everybody's had a good New Year so far.
it's been nice over this way.
Good.
Little more snow and cold than I like, but it's Michigan, so what are you gonna
It's
do?
it's that time of the year.
Indeed. We've gotten spoiled to several mild winters lately.
Hmm.
Where we've had, a couple of snowstorms here and there, but mostly mild. And yeah, it's just dumping on us this year so far.
Yeah, it's been here from the moon. It's been like perpetually November, more or less. It hasn't really gotten that cold except for a couple of days, and at least no snow where I am. So,
Gotcha.
but I'm waiting for it. Usually, I could see it dumping on us in the next month or two.
As the Danger says, there have been massive uprisings in Iran, and Trump has threatened them if they kill citizens. We aren't going to do shit if they kill their citizens.
Yeah.
We're not going to do fuck all about it.
Nope.
We
Sanctions, maybe more sanctions,
Yeah,
but they're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna take any action that would risk the civilian lives that he would say he's trying to protect either. So
right. Yeah. I mean, how do you do that? Go in there and bomb shit because they killed some people. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean it goes back to the whole complaint of we're not the world's police force, except we
Yeah.
always end up being the world's police force. But that would definitely be a policing action.
Well, it's the same thing that happened when Ukraine goes into Russia. Like
Yeah,
I told everybody it was coming and that we weren't going to do shit because there's no real reason for us to. We'll throw some sanctions on there and pretend it
yeah,
matters, but we're not going to war over fucking Ukraine. We're not going to war over Iran uprisings.
no.
Yeah. So,
And the thing is, I mean, and the only way here's the thing: if we did swoop in, if the Iranian people were being oppressed like that, that disincentivizes them from continuing their opposition to the regime.
yeah.
This is something that I kind of brought up in my TEDx the other night. is that the only way that these countries have any chance, like China, like Iran, Myanmar, and so on, is if the people themselves decide to make a change.
Mhm.
And you can't do that by holding their hands or nannying them into oblivion. And it's going to take sacrifice. It's probably going to take a lot of people dying because you've got some very, dug in and very fundamental either ideologies or governmental systems that aren't just going to give up because people are sad. So
Right. Yeah. And look, if they do rise up and we want to help support them in some way, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I mean, Iran is actually a tragedy what's happened there
oh yeah,
since the uprisings of the 70s.
yeah. If
But
you look at the way that place was before the revolution,
mhm,
it's like they took the whole country into a time machine and sent it back 500 years.
yeah.
It's just insane what's happened to that country.
But this is why outside coups never really last, is you have to have the people rise up to do it themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
So
And
anyway,
the resentment against the interfering elements will just lead back to giving more prestige and authority to the people that were there in the first place.
yep. Faithless, exactly. Freedom cannot be forced on people. It can't. It just can't.
Yeah. It has to be earned and fought for.
All right. So let's talk about CNN. You and I haven't got to talk about CNN together for a long, long time.
I know. The last time we talk about CNN is usually with our favorite friend from CNN, Chris Cillizza, who's not there anymore. But I still rag on him when he tries to act all imperious about things, and then I have to remind him of all his previous copy.
Yeah, but his little protege is all over CNN, man.
Oh, Harry Enton,
Harry
man, the
Enton.
guy with Harry Enton. You have Chris Cillizza's personal Igor, guy whose name sounds like a follicle condition. I mean, I'll give him some credit. When he was covering the elections, he didn't try to sugarcoat a lot of things. He was like, "No, Trump is doing good." He wasn't the so I go ahead.
Give him a little bit of credit. You're absolutely right about Enton with the way that he's presenting the numbers.
Yes.
He's actually giving the numbers.
Yeah.
And pointing out, like, he just I want to say like 3 months ago we saw a clip of him where he was talking about the approval ratings of presidents at this point in their
I remember that. Yes.
their presidency. And Trump is way better than Obama and Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And
For that time period, yeah.
and scarily so.
Yeah.
But if you watch the news, many news stations will tell you there's so much buyer's remorse over Trump. I haven't seen that. The only time I see that is from people who claim, no, I totally voted for him, and then he kicked out immigrants, and I was stunned that he'd do that.
Well, I see a lot of grousing about things that are understandable, like the lack of Epstein transparency, the seeming lack of movement by the Justice Department on a variety of different things. I mean, I'm grousing about the sort of molasses speed with which, and this, of course, is my pet project, so to speak, the movement on DEI repercussions. But apparently that's going to start happening this year, purportedly. So I'm waiting and seeing on that.
Well, unfortunately, for a lot of people who, I'm trying to be nice, guys. I'm throwing the niceness out. I'm just going to be blunt. A lot of people wanted Trump to come in and act like a dictator. They wanted him to come in and act like you said Biden was doing. And that's not how government works. It's not how our government works. It is actually supposed to be slow. Our court systems are incredibly fucking slow. And people are like, but they haven't prosecuted literally everybody. No, because that's not how that shit works.
It's true. It takes time.
If
you can do it at all. I mean, part of the problem is a lot of people's complaints about things. At this point, many of them have passed beyond the statute of limitations anyway.
Well, fuck, even before you get to the statute of limitations, a lot of the stuff isn't illegal. Being a dick isn't illegal.
Yeah. Or there's enough gray area that trying to do a court case would be such an uphill battle that it wouldn't be worth it in the end.
So there's a lot of that. You're right. I've seen that from people, but even in those cases, I don't see them wanting Trump gone. Mostly it's directed at Bondi or Patel.
Yeah. because they seem to, well, and they've done themselves all the disservice in the world by being so wishy-washy with their promises, and like, oh no, I've got a stack of this on my desk and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then nothing. And like, I mean, honestly, if they just sit down, I know it's not fashionable to refer to him, but if you think about like the fireside chats of FDR, if he actually just kind of sat down and was just playing with people and just said, hey, we're looking at this and we're looking at this, but here's the situation. It takes this time and this process and everything else, and we have to weigh, this and that. I just lay it out. I mean, Trump does so much press and does so much communicating with people, as compared to Biden. It's night and day.
Yep.
That once in a while, if you just like turn to Pam Bondi, who I hear different things about her effectiveness and generally speaking, but if you turn to Pam Bondi and say, Pam, explain to the public why these things take a while, and just let her do it, and of course the left is going to say one thing and the rabbits on the right are going to say the other, but at least you laid it out there. They always seem to keep it very couched and very mysterious and try to put a sugar coat on it. Just level with people.
And you're right about Bondi. Like, Bondi is wishy-washy in some spots, and then like with the Epstein thing, she was so definitive with nothing there.
Yeah.
And even all the stuff that's come out, that was this major story, and all of these files dumped. And how many stories did we actually get out of that?
Well, admittedly, most of the stuff they put out there was already known.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any headlines. The biggest thing about it was the documents that were redacted, except if you copied and pasted them into a text file. But that again didn't really do a heck of a lot. No, my biggest gripe with Bondi so far is not so much the arrests that have been made or not been made, but the wishy-washiness. But most especially after or during the Charlie Kirk aftermath and the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, where she said that they would start prosecuting hate speech or something.
Yeah,
I think it was, and I was like, "Come on, that is how." At that, I mean, if I was Trump, I would have fired her on the spot for that one. Like, not even going to carry you for that one. But whatever.
Yeah, I want to go back to a time when I didn't know who was running the DOJ.
I mean, I think it was, what's her name, under Clinton, for the first time I heard the name
Elders?
of the...
that was... Elders was what? Human Services?
I don't know. No, the... what's her name? Who during Waco...
Reno. Janet Reno.
Janet Reno, yes. Janet Reno. I think that was the first time, growing up at least, that I paid any attention or knew the name of the Attorney General. But, anyway.
Yeah, even with Reno, I mean, she only popped up when there were major stories. I see Pam Bondi way too much.
Yeah.
Just way too often she's out there talking.
Yeah, if she doesn't have something important to say or announce, then go do your job. That's
go do your fucking job. You're not a press person.
You shouldn't be. I mean, I appreciate the fact that we're seeing more of our elected and appointed officials, but at the same time, they're not supposed to be media figures unto themselves.
But that's what they all are now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest. The Trump White House was a reality show from 2016 onward anyway, so.
I mean, but we had a very similar thing with Obama's people and with Bush's people. The longer I'm alive, the more our federal government, especially the executive branch, they're celebrities rather than civil servants.
Well, that's what we as a populace have allowed to happen. That's the kind of power that Congress has abrogated to the executive over time. And we treat them like royalty or American royalty. We always kind of have, in a way, when they should be far more functionary.
Yes,
far more functionary. But this is how it is.
Speaking of things not functioning well, let's get to our two stories today. I'm going to start with one that I teased yesterday about watching, guys. Is this video here of Abby Phillip?
Oh, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, this is great. And we're going to set this up. This concerns Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Nice segue from what we were just talking about. And for years and years and years and years, Donald Trump has been saying, I have not been friends with Epstein since 2004. I don't like the scumbag. We're not friends. Fuck you. And the media has been like, But here's pictures of him in 1998 proving that they're friends. And even with the Epstein drops and stuff, we have the Epstein files getting released, and the Democrats come out and they put out a whole bunch of stuff that they had subpoenaed, and it was mostly nonsense. But they pointed to these letters that Epstein had wrote to other people, like, look, he's talking about Trump. Did you know they were friends? But if you actually read the letters, they were not complimentary towards Trump, literally at all.
My favorite bit about that was when that all came out, someone had done some kind of ratio chart showing how many times Trump's name showed up in Jeffrey Epstein's communications over a timeline, and then you see this giant spike around 2016 and onward, and I specifically, Chris Cillizza was like, "Look at this! This is amazing!" And I said, "Chris, how many times was Trump mentioned in your emails during that same time period?"
Yeah,
right. Why would anybody be discussing Trump in electronic communication from 2016 and onward? I can't imagine why. It's like,
and remember, part of that communication where he pops up is in relation to Epstein feeding questions to the chick from the Virgin Islands.
Oh yeah.
At a congressional hearing,
which was amazing. When somebody like time keyed the messages to the footage.
Yeah, you can watch it in real time.
It's hilarious. It's also creepy too.
Real quick, it's Hammer's birthday. Oh wait,
what?
Hey Jack, what's up, man? Jack.
Hello, other me.
Hello,
Jack. Are you there?
Yeah, are you?
Oh, you sound distant, man.
Yes, you're very quiet.
So far away. I don't know why.
It's far away for far too long.
I hate both of you right now. Jack, how you doing today, my friend?
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody's told me yet.
Oh, well, you're doing well.
Oh, yeah, all right then. How are you?
Stop, Hammer time. Dangerous, knock it off. It is Hammer's birthday, and around here, well, it was on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. We do this. So Hammer, this one's for you. Yeah. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Hammer.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, sir. I hope you had a good one. I was just wondering how many people have ever tuned into this show right as we're
what?
Right as
I think we lost Monkey.
Awesome. I'm sure it had.
Monkey's fading in and out. Is that me or is that
Yes,
you?
I was. I don't know why my internet is doing that. Am I back now?
Okay.
Yes,
you are.
Good. Okay. So anyway, the setup for this is like I said, the media's constant attempts to prove that Trump was still friends with Epstein, or at least friends enough that you should link Donald Trump to Epstein raping children.
Mm-hmm.
And then Abby Phillip, I always want to put an S on the end. Put an S at the end like a normal person, Abby. Mm-hmm. She had to do this.
Breaking news, the Wall Street Journal is out with a new report describing the fallout between President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein.
I just need to break in here because they are calling this breaking news.
I keep telling you, time is not linear to them.
You seem to be correct on that. Donald Trump has been saying this all along. You guys have literally found nothing linking the two of them since 2004. He has been consistent on this, and the evidence is consistent on this.
The only slightly reasonable argument I've heard elsewise on why, if there was definitive, smoking gun evidence between Trump and Epstein and that wise, hasn't been released is because of a mutually assured destruction kind of thing, because of all the other associations amongst Democratic donors and figures, is that to release the one, you'd end up releasing a whole ton of other things. But still, at this point, if there was something even slightly, it'd be out there, and it isn't. So
Trump broke ties with Epstein before Epstein got indicted and pled guilty to the was it traffic? I can't remember the exact charge he pled guilty to. Being a pedophile, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Trump broke ties with him before any of that.
Mm-hmm.
There are tons of people who didn't meet or start hanging out with Jeffrey until after that, and they get no shade. Not from the press.
I can't necessarily blame anybody because it was kept so on the down low by the federal government and the media elsewise that you could be forgiven for like going to a dinner with Jeffrey Epstein and having absolutely no idea about his criminal record because it was not made a big deal of it all. And he didn't have to serve any kind of real punishment for it.
That's fair. But if you're going to be linking people, wouldn't it make more sense that the people who did it after his conviction?
Well, yeah, but I mean, CNN's got nothing else. I mean, all they had from 2016 and through the Biden administration was Trump. People weren't watching CNN to get the latest on Joe Biden. It was like, oh, what was Trump being convicted of today, or what trial is going against Trump, or what district attorney general is going after Trump. Trump. They have nothing else. They wouldn't know what to do without Trump. CNN would fall apart. They are built on popsicle sticks, and they all have the name Trump on them.
Well, in fairness, it was Bush before that, so.
Well, but at least that was at wartime, and it was all. Well, was CNN all that critical of Bush?
Oh God, yes, absolutely.
Okay, I must have blanked that out of my mind because MSNBC and everything certainly, but CNN, I thought always took a kind of a kindly light on the Bush administration.
Compared to how they treat Trump, I could see you thinking that. Because when Trump announces, the media just stopped pretending it at all.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely 100% against Bush. And look, hate Bush all you want to, but they never have the same scrutiny for Democrats that they have for Republicans. And that's all I want.
No.
Be the same asshole to everybody. That's all I'm looking for.
Well, that's what the media quote unquote ideally should be doing. Yeah. Ideally.
All right, Abby.
The Journal reports that a spa worker from Mar-a-Lago often made house calls to Jeffrey Epstein's home 2 miles away. But those house calls, quote, came to a halt in 2003 after an 18-year-old beautician returned to the club from a house call to Epstein and reported to managers that he had pressured her for sex.
Can I just point out that in this instance, it's not even an underage person, according to this, that made Trump break it off with him. It was just him being a creep to one of the people that worked for him.
And what was their reaction? Cutting off contact.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and this somehow besmirches Trump's reputation. How? One of his employees was mistreated or something or other by a client, and then they immediately discontinued service.
Yeah. Trump broke a friendship over this.
Yeah.
That bastard.
Manager faxed Trump a letter suggesting that the club ban Epstein, and Trump agreed, which does mirror the president's own public comments.
Okay. And so you're running defense for Trump now, CNN? Breaking news: Trump didn't lie. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is more like, oh, breaking news: our lawyers got a threatening letter from Trump's lawyers.
Yeah.
We already owe him a bunch of money, so...
Yeah, we don't want to be Stephanopoulos.
Yeah.
Guys, Mary's birthday is today.
What?
Here, we do this.
Okay.
Mary, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday
to you. Come on, it's a lady. You got to put some effort into it. Come on.
No, we don't do that around here. Happy birthday to you.
Dear.
Happy birthday,
dear Mary.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Mary. I hope you have a good one and really, really do.
I tried, Mary. I tried.
That was terrible. Right. We're back.
About why he cut ties with Epstein. The White House is responding to the Wall Street Journal, writing, no matter how many times this story is told and retold, the truth remains President Trump did nothing wrong, and he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep.
He cut ties with.
Yeah, that's what he said all along. But I love that this is breaking news, you guys.
They got nothing else to talk about. It's so silly. I've been having so many flashbacks to Lords of the Night in our coverage during the 2016 years of CNN. It's like I read an article from CNN or see a headline, and I'm like, did I travel back in time?
No, they're just all shitbags now. I mean, again, they don't even try to hide it anymore.
No. Why bother? I mean, we become so tribalistic. Why even bother?
Again, how about integrity?
Integrity. Okay, and I know you're being slightly facetious here, but this is the same company whose president said we're journalists, not investigators.
True.
Not too long ago. These are the same guys that bent over backwards to try to destroy that Covington kid's life for nothing, and still don't make any real apologies for that.
Don't forget, went after the guy for making a joke video of Trump beating them up in a wrestling ring.
And this is the same company that hired back Brian Stelter. I don't know what else. I don't know if you need another sign of just how CNN has not moved an inch in the last 8 years, but that one.
Jeffrey Epstein, long before Epstein became a convicted sex offender. A lot of Democrats didn't, and it is corroborated by the Wall Street Journal tonight.
Breaking news, the Wall Street...
Yeah.
That is their breaking news. This is how they've treated that story, is that, hey guys, until the Wall Street, and I do love that it's the Wall Street Journal that they suddenly believe. It's like, the Wall Street Journal has told us. Okay, but
how often did we catch them just rebroadcasting Washington Post stories or Wall Street Journal stories? They don't do their own work. They don't do their own work. They just rely on somebody else to tell them it's okay to talk about this now because we're not going to be the only ones sticking our necks out on something. So
wait, are you telling me Bat Boy may not still be alive?
He might not be. He might not.
Oh my gosh, I have that issue somewhere.
World News.
I have that issue somewhere in a closet.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching a video from somebody doing like covered paranormal stuff, and one of their sources was the Weekly World News.
Is there a YouTube channel out there that treats the Weekly World News stories like real history and does like documentaries on that? Because if there's not, there should be.
None on
probably
purpose,
something. Probably something like it out there. Alan, thank you so much. Who says, hello, Monk. Hello, sir. Hope you're well.
Hi.
All right. Let's check out our other story and how CNN is covering this. Minnesota Child Care Center accused of wrongdoing were operating as expected, report says.
Yeah. Also, Potemkin villages are Potemkin villages.
This is actually what motivated me to do this for tonight's show, because when I read this article, I'm like, are you fucking with me right now? Minnesota child care centers at the heart of widespread fraud allegations fueled by a viral video were operating as expected when visited by investigators, the State Department of Children, Youth, and Families said in a news release Friday. Quote, children were present at all sites except for one. That site was not yet open for families for the day when investigators arrived. You guys showed up to investigate them when they weren't operating? As the state who's overseeing them, shouldn't you have known their hours of operation?
Hey, showing up when they weren't operating is exactly what Nick Shirley was doing.
Yeah, that's what we're told. But I just love that this a report came out from these people, and look, that means it's true. We didn't do any investigating ourselves.
Well, again, CNN, they don't do any. They're not investigators. They're journalists. Not Zucker. Zucker is long gone from running CNN. His ghost remains. They just rebroadcast other people's stuff and just, twice told tales. I would love to know what the investigative team at CNN, what they're made up of and what they actually do, if they have one.
Well, remember, they got rid of their investigative journalists.
Oh, because who needs them?
Now, Monkey, they have that blonde girl who called it like, are you a fraud?
Oh, God.
No? Okay.
Scribbles.
Thank you.
I saw you in chat briefly yesterday, so I don't know if you saw that video, but they sent a woman to talk to Nick. What's his last name?
Shirley.
Nick Shirley. Yeah.
And in her report, after she gives him a bunch of shit, she says that she called a bunch of the centers and only one of them answered. And they said they're a legitimate business.
Oh, well, I mean, if they say so, CNN. But then again, you know, these guys are the ones that go with familiar with the matter as a source.
For
So
the
it's like
record,
someone said a thing, so it must be true now. You know, CNN is practical. I mean, I said this a long time ago when Gawker closed. I said I know exactly where all those people are going to go,
CNN.
and they have. And CNN is just Gawker.
She actually used those words. They said they're a legitimate business. I'm not paraphrasing her.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And if I was Nick Shirley, I would have said, well, CNN also says they're a legitimate journalistic institution. Right. So, you know, I mean, believe what you want.
She showed herself calling them. We don't hear anything from the center themselves. She just tells us what they said. It's fucking amazing if you haven't seen it.
Well, like again, CNN is just a reposter of other people's stuff. It's like if CNN were a Twitter account, all they do is hit repost.
I also want to point out with this, the investigators showed up and there were kids there. It's really not that hard to get some kids there now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately,
the van with CNN.
Unfortunately, I mean, like that one, they all of their records were stolen during, you know, a break-in.
Right.
This should be a pretty simple investigation. We have federal money going to these sites. The federal money goes to the states who dole it out. There should be very simple to follow paperwork and very simple to check, hey, does this kid actually go here? And instead they're relying on, well, there were kids there when we showed up.
Hey, you know, those North Korean grocery stores, they were super stocked with food when the press appeared.
Right?
Yeah, no, there should be surprise audits with these places. There's no, at this point, I mean, well, you know, as has resurfaced, this is not the first time that such endeavors in Minnesota specifically have been investigated by the press, actually investigated by the press back in 2014 and onwards. So this shouldn't be some kind of surprise. But I got to wonder, okay, well, whose responsibility is it if such an audit of such things were to happen? Whose responsibility is it? And have they been fully staffed and funded over the last couple of administrations to do such things?
Well, being that there's federal money involved, DOJ gets it, but there's also state laws at play here too, where the state can be doing it.
If the state decides to enforce the laws. This is the one thing I've learned over the years from covering DEI stuff. We have laws against this stuff, but only if they're enforced. An unenforced law doesn't exist.
You know, I was just watching Oversimplified's their video on prohibition, and he was talking about that. You know, laws that if you're not enforcing them, is it really a law?
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, yes, and if they ever change their mind, you're going to get screwed. But let's see.
Higgin, real quick. Thank you, Alan, for the generous dono. And hello to you too, my friend. Hi, Alan. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. It's very generous.
The other part I wanted to point out says the report comes days after YouTube content creator Nick Shirley. And that's all I'm reading of that part, because did you notice what they dropped there, guys?
The MAGA?
The MAGA
part, or the right wing, or whatever else.
In the video we watched yesterday, the lady who introduces the story and the lady who did the coverage, both of them called him a MAGA creator.
Right, MAGA creator. He created MAGA, guys.
But they got so much pushback. Apparently, somebody said, "Don't put that on there."
This is MAGA country.
That's right.
Look, I'm willing to believe that maybe one of those daycares actually operates. I don't think it does, but if they find proof that it does, fine. But you can't have it both ways. This is what I was talking about last night, where you have these news people telling us there's nothing to see here. By the way, we've been catching fraud in this state for over a decade with this very thing.
Yeah.
MAGA fraud.
So what are the odds? And I know this is kind of it's a stupid question because I already know the answer. But what are the odds that anyone in elected authority pays an actual price for this.
Zero.
Yeah, zero. Nobody in actual power is going to get in any real trouble ever.
Why?
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to act the fool for the sake of the conversation.
Sure.
Why not?
Corruption.
Because they insulated themselves from it. The way that just take Ilhan Omar for example, right? She helps push the Meals Act, which pushes what is it, feeding for families or whatever the fuck that is, and then that money gets doled out to the people who are, I'm using air quotes, committing the fraud. So the people in charge who allowed it all to happen, their hands are clean because they were just trying to get money to needy people. They didn't know it would be going to shitbags who were stealing it.
If you could prove they knew that, then what?
If you could prove they knew it, sure. But you can't prove that they knew it.
Even if they did, the FBI is so corrupt that all of the evidence will end up down in the Mariana Trench next to the Epstein files that they aren't releasing. I don't have any faith that anybody in any position of power that works for the government or an elected official or a celebrity is ever going to face consequences again for the shit they do, because we have a corrupt system and we have a FBI and DOJ that favors cover-ups.
That's even too cynical for me. I mean, Menendez just went to prison, so it's not impossible.
He was no longer useful. It's not possible, but he's not useful to them.
But I also don't think just outright nihilism is the right answer. Nobody's ever going to be held accountable. That's not true. It requires actual proof. And
I don't have that much faith in. I mean, if Trump can't get these people thrown in jail after everything he went through, and Pam Bondi can't bother to not be on TV for 10 minutes, I just don't have any faith it'll ever get done again.
But
well, even if they make
to you, hang on, I'll put the question to you. Who for what specifically though?
For any serious crime.
Yeah, no, but do you have an example of it where there's somebody who's gotten away with it?
No, but my point is that it's not that we know of it, because they've covered up so much stuff. Look at all the stuff that's gone on the J6 committee. How many rights they violated and bent over to try and twist to their desire to throw people in prison. Nobody's been arrested for that bullshit yet. We all know how much they twisted everything around.
Sure, but what they did wasn't illegal. It was just dirty. What the J6 the committee themselves, they didn't, that we know of, do anything illegal. They just did dirty shit.
Yeah, it's the division line between criminality and unethicality, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, being unethical does not necessarily mean being illegal.
Fair. At the same time, the prosecutors knew what they were doing. When they had people arrested and charged and twisted the laws to get the guys convicted and thrown in solitary and refused to let anybody see them and check on their well-being. Nobody's been in trouble for that. The FBI raid that was apparently completely fucking illegal on Mar-a-Lago, nobody's been in trouble for that. There's all sorts of laws that have been bent and broken by government officials, and they get at best a little slap on the wrist. Oh, you got a rubber stamp on a FISA warrant, even though you lied to us. Well, you get a little temporary suspension. Naughty you, naughty.
Yeah, my problem with what you're saying there isn't that you're wrong about the justice system, but we see that in all kinds of cases. How many child molesters have gotten off with probation?
Yeah, well, that's
sure,
just,
but that doesn't make it right, though.
No, I'm not saying it's right.
I know you're not saying it's right, but just because it happens doesn't mean we should tolerate it. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have something change.
We should tolerate it. My point is that if we look at the way that politics is handled, like right now, everybody's like, Bondi, go after all these people. Mm-hmm. Again, it's really not how the system works.
I know. Well, people want instantaneous results.
Well, that's part of the problem. How many times have we seen qualified immunity be abused to protect shit cops? How
Sure,
many times do
absolutely.
we see people that can get away with stuff because the system protects itself? We've
Yeah, I mean,
investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing,
Sure.
and at most, some taxpayers have to pay the fee when somebody gets sued for an egregious offense, but then face no consequences. Nobody is doing anything about the corruption within the system, and
And
I'm real sick of that shit.
and I'm with you on it. The problem is the system itself, though.
Yeah, I agree, but that's the point. Is there's a chance for reform here to actually stop some of this from happening, and nobody's doing anything about it. They just continue with more of the same because the swamp keeps protecting itself. Bondi has had time and time again to actually start going after people for stuff they did, and she doesn't do it. She just talks about doing it. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at that.
well,
There
she
it
may,
is.
she writes checks she can't cash, and this is why I was telling Monkey, I think before you showed up, that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, these guys need to only show up when they have a real serious announcement to make, or have to give congressional testimony or something. But otherwise, they shouldn't be making speeches. They shouldn't be making promises or proclamations about things or intimating that they have movement on something unless they're like if Pam Bondi saying, I have the Epstein files on my desk. That conversation should have never happened. She should have only showed up at a podium talking about the Epstein files when she was going to announce action being taken, not
Yes.
promises not yet fulfilled. That's part of the problem is that, like I said before, you're taking important appointed or governmental officials and turning them into TV talking heads, which they should not be. They should not be. There should be a certain insulation of mystique between the people running these departments and the rest of the government.
Why the hell is there a press secretary for DOJ when Bondi just comes out every day?
Exactly. Yeah, you have to have some filtration. You have to.
She doesn't do anything else, so she just goes on TV.
Got to have her TV. All right, guys. I want to get back to the Somali story just for a moment because I found out the real culprit behind the Somali stuff.
Time traveling Jews.
You're half right.
Somali things related, right? I mean, look, not to minimize it, but I mean, Israel is actually involved in the Somali thing. I mean, Israel has taken a side in the Somali civil war. They recognize Somaliland. And again, not to excuse that any of the fraud that is doubtless going on in some of these inner cities, but the reason why Somalia is so in the mainstream of sort of American media right now is that I think, frankly, the Israeli lobby wants to push it.
Oh my gosh, the Jews did it! The Jews did it!
Are the Jews in the room with you right now, sir?
Oh my God,
you see what it is, people, is that the Jews are jealous of what the Somalis have gotten away with.
What were you saying there, Jack?
I'm just so tired of like blaming Israel and the Jews for everything. It is so lazy. You don't have to ascribe to the Jews what could be ascribed to laziness and stupidity. Okay.
Again, let's be honest about why the Somali thing is in the news. It's because Trump decided he was going after illegal Somalis. The media immediately jumped on their side, like, look what he's doing to the Somalis. And that's why it became a mainstream topic. The Jews had nothing to fucking do with it.
Nope.
But some people see the shadow of Jews everywhere, man.
Yeah, like, what do we call those people?
We call them Hassan Piker fans.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I saw this. I knew it was coming. It had to be coming.
Because
of course it did.
Yeah.
Well, Hassan literally did this like a couple days ago because Sean, the actual Justice Warrior, made a tweet about it. And I got it right here. Hassan said, very cool that every pro-Israel mega content creator is rushing to see children at daycares around the country after a week of Trump's DOJ playing defense for Epstein's co-conspirators.
Yeah, that was one of the talking points. Some people on the left tried getting off the ground. Like, look, Nick is a pedophile. That's why he was going to the daycares. He was trying to pick up a date.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But Sean pointed out that the Israelis are so tricky, making us think fraud is bad.
Yes.
So and because this was investigated years ago, that's why I say time traveling Jews.
Well, we have to have the carnival or the carousel ride of, well, CNN has these 3 topics to talk about: hating on Trump, accusing Israel of war crimes in some way, shape, or form, and Ukraine is everybody's hero. That's been like the news cycle for the last 3 years, and so the war in Gaza has kind of fallen off the wayside in the headlines lately, but we still have to keep that in the headlines because we've got so much infrastructure built up around that. Why not sit on that again? Sure, why not?
I think a lot of lefties are going to, especially lefty content creators, are going to be shocked by how fast Israel is just out of our news cycle because the war over there is gone.
Yeah, more or less.
This is what I said maybe a month ago. Nobody in America really cares about Israel. It comes up, we talk about it when it comes up, and then whatever made it for us to talk about goes away, and we stop thinking about them until the next time.
Yep, that's how it goes. That's the
and
cycle.
with this war, it's one of the longer engagements they've had recently.
Mm-hmm.
It stayed in the headlines a lot longer than most stories do.
Yep.
And several people decided they were jumping on the it's a genocide bandwagon. Most of them don't even know what's actually going on over there.
Right.
That one guy,
Douglas Murray,
old white guy who I think it's at Penn State, who records his class for people and puts it on YouTube.
Oh,
do you know who I'm talking about?
I do, but the name also escapes me.
He did a video.
I never knew his name.
I don't know if I've ever actually heard his name, but he did a video not long ago where there was a Palestinian supporter in his class, and he just told him straight up, "You don't even know what's going on over there. You have no idea."
Yeah.
But look how passionate you are about this shit.
Right.
And then they were like, "Jew lover."
Yeah, he was not happy to be told that.
Yeah, taking advantage of people. I mean, this is, I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who are so rabidly supportive of something they don't understand. At the same time, I can kind of, in a psychological sense, understand their need to belong to something and feel like they're doing something right. We all have that. In the heart of almost everybody is the desire to be a hero, to be the good person. And when you have that twisted and corrupted by outside forces towards something ridiculous or self-destructive, it's sad while also being infuriating.
When you get to the point, remember, they were calling it a genocide before October 7th. They're like, what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. And at the time, their population had like doubled.
Yeah. Well,
that's
my favorite
the worst genocide in history.
My favorite bit is still the insanity of coverage in the early days where that rocket fired from Gaza fell back down into Gaza and blew up a small hole in a parking lot of a hospital, and the initial reports from the Gaza Health Ministry, and then repeated by CNN, 10,000 people are dead in Israeli airstrike. And I'm like, what the hell? That was great.
My favorite part of that was Hassan. I don't know if you saw it, but Hassan did a breakdown of it, and he could tell by the sound of the missile that was a JDAM that came from Israel.
Oh, wow. Hassan Piker, military audio expert.
It was whistling in Yiddish, apparently. Oh, the guy's a moron.
It was fired from their weapons platform in space.
I just remembered the other day that the Ukrainian war was going on still because Zelensky was here begging for money again.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw somebody whining because Putin said that his house got bombed. And they're like, there's no proof of that at all. He's such a horrible person. I was like, you do realize, of course, that Zelensky killed some Polish people in Poland and blamed Putin for it, right?
Right.
Of the two lies, which one of those is more consequential?
Yeah, people pretending like in situations like this that there are any harps or halos to pass around.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's some kind of relativism between the evil of Putin versus the evil of Zelensky, but at the same time, you don't. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. It's just frustrating to listen to this stuff
I
sometimes.
think that we need to get to a place where we can point and go, both of them suck.
Yeah, and they're always hold them to account for the things that they do, and say and
You're
otherwise.
crazy. That's crazy.
I know.
All right, that's the end of stuff I brought for today. So we're just on free time now, for the record.
Wait, you have like a format here?
No, not necessarily a format, but I usually come into it with a topic that I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't really have any, which is actually on purpose tonight, guys. And by on purpose, I mean I started watching a YouTube video and stopped doing research for the show.
I got distracted.
What YouTube video?
I was watching one of my reaction channels that I watching her first viewing of Scrooged.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Sure. Oh, you know what? So we're talking about channels and reaction things. Have you guys ever heard of the YouTube channel called Drumeo?
No.
Okay, so they have a series, and so it's a channel that's dedicated to the instrument of drums, obviously. But they have a series called First Time Hearing, and they bring in professional drummers from big bands like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Megadeth and all these guys, and they sit them there and they play them songs with the drum track removed until they find one that they don't recognize. And then they have to make up their own drum line for that song completely blank. And so you get this amazing version, like the most recent one was some really young like TikTok drummer star they brought on, and they played for her Baba O'Reilly from The Who. And she'd never heard it before. She had no idea. And so she had to come up with her own drum track for this famous song, and it completely changed the song. There was this one, they brought in the drummer from Megadeth, and they played him Mr. Brightside from The Killers, and he'd never heard it, and he did a completely different beat that literally changed the mood of the song. And it's an amazing series, and it's really funny because sometimes they throw like the most poppy stuff up against like heavy metal bands drummers, and it's nuts. So yeah, check out Drumeo and First Time. The best one so far, of course, is one of the first ones, and that was Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's given a song he's never heard of before, and without even practicing, he basically copies what the real drum track is by instinct.
Oh.
It's crazy. It's great. It's a great series, really entertaining, so go check that out.
Is that Drumeo with an I?
No, drum and then EO.
EO, okay.
Drumeo, yeah.
Wow.
I'm just putting it into my YouTube search so I remember to look at it after the show.
It's great.
Unlike you guys, I went a more sophisticated route and watched Lol Cow Short Bus because Amberlyn Reed joined it, and it turned into the predictable shit show where she broke down and cried because everybody kept calling her a cat killer. And they were trying to do like kind of staged bits that were supposed to trick us, but everybody kept typing in cat killer in the chat, and she kept having a little hysterical meltdown, and that made me smile. So you unsophisticated people out there,
well,
don't know
I had watched my drama stuff earlier in the day. I saw Pegasus's new video, and man, Pegasus, it's okay to take a day off when you feel like that, bro.
No, the drama doesn't stop. We need new episodes of
that poor bastard sounds like he's dying.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not familiar with Pegasus. Who's Pegasus?
What is it? Pegasus again? What's the name of his channel, guys? Somebody throw it in the chat.
Pegasus.
What is it?
More Pegasus.
More Pegasus. That's it. Because he's had several Pegasus channels.
Oh, okay.
And this one he's mostly covering iDubbbz Hassan shit. And
I usually get my iDubbbz Hassan news from Bearing and Sugar Tits.
Have you ever been watching that and seen Bearing go Frogan? He does
Frogan.
That comes from Pegasus, from watching Pegasus videos.
Oh, wait. Is Bearing plagiarizing?
No, he gives credit to him if you pay attention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because you're distracted by his Australian accent.
Yeah.
But the latest one where Ian is talking shit to an Iranian.
Oh, that's right. I saw that one.
Iranian.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so, guys, this Iranian guy is talking to this woman and telling her about what it's like. They're in America now, telling her what it's like to live in Iran and how horrible and repressive it is. And iDubbbz and his ugly whore wife are sitting there talking shit about this guy and how he doesn't even really know what the fuck is he talking about while they are sitting in there in her mom's basement in fucking Canada.
After burning all of their millions or whatever.
Yeah, for the record, this was not a news interview or anything like that. It's a clip from 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how dancing and music are illegal in public and how shocked he was to see that here in the States.
And these two idiots are like, that's not even true. Yes, it is.
Yes, they quite literally have police of vice and virtue in Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, tons of Middle East countries. They have a specific police force dedicated to keeping you in line morally.
It reminds me of a clip from, and this is from many years ago, but there was like a talk show in Britain, and Christopher Hitchens was on, and they were talking about Islam and everything, and there was some lady in the audience that was like, my sisters in Iran can do this and do this and do this, and you see Hitchens' face just like completely go, no, they can't.
Yeah.
They absolutely cannot. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, they can. No, they can't. What? You're doing a disservice to your own people by saying that they can and lying for the regime. What are you talking about? It's just so crazy.
Well, iDubbbz got called out for it really hard, and he came up with a new tact. It's not that he was really saying that Iran is a good place and that it's not as a no. He just doesn't think that guy should be sucking off America by putting down Iran.
Yeah, he didn't like the pro-American propaganda.
Right.
I'm just going to say this right now. I can look at women not being allowed to dance in Iran and say America is better than that.
Yes.
Yeah. Not all cultures are equal, okay?
Yeah,
we're
was
better
just talking
than
about
they
that
are.
on TEDx last night. Cultural relativism is a dangerous path.
Just ask anybody in the UK or Sweden.
Well, yeah, exactly. I just
I need to step away for 1 second.
Okay. Well then.
Let's get Pete.
Well, he's gone. What are we going to talk about, Jack? We got the floor to ourselves. What are we going to talk about? Tell me about how much you love the Hunt for Red October. Tell me how much you love the Hunt for Red October.
It was full of hunting. Disappointing, no ducks were bagged, but hunting movies are usually pretty fun. So yeah, I liked that. Alec Baldwin did a great performance, and Sean Connery is always good, even in shitty Zardoz.
Even in Zardoz, it's true.
Yeah,
even in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I actually don't hate that movie as much as everybody else. It's not a good movie. I just don't hate it as much as everybody else.
Now, if you want a better sort of presentation of that similar idea, you watch the first season of Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, far superior rendition of that. Plus
far better. Don't bother with the subsequent seasons because, like Stranger Things, that series should have stopped after the first season or just done something completely different with itself.
Yeah, or gotten better writers because they obviously ran out of their good ideas or whatever they were ripping off.
Well, this is. I was talking about this with my sister today. She was talking about how the ending of Stranger Things was just kind of bleh, and I was just like, a lot of these shows, the first season is really, really strong. I always bring up Stranger Things. I bring up Penny Dreadful, Carnival, because that first season and stories, those guys probably had years to work on and tweak and refine what they were going to do, and then it took off like a rocket, and suddenly they're being charged with, let's do another one, and they don't have nearly as well fleshed out ideas as they did for that thing that they've been probably pitching for a couple of years. And so a lot of these shows, I think, should just have one season. Or if you're going to have more seasons, turn it into an anthology series.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but I was watching House again last night, and they used to do 48 minutes every week for 22 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the next season they would do it again. And yeah, a lot of shows die off after that first season, but many manage to keep going. We now have shows where they can't get more than 8 done a year.
Well, here's the thing,
Even-
Monkey. Yeah.
Even with all of the preamble to that first season where they've been working on it forever.
Yeah.
Well, they then have, let me get my math here, 44 weeks to go back and write better stuff for the next season.
Yeah. Well, here's the difference there is that House, that's a great example. House is great because the episodes are episodic. It still relied on the old process of making a show. You had 22 episodes, and most of them were, for all intents and purposes, bottle episodes. They were condensed, they were, self-reliant, and if there were any threads that connected one episode to the next, they were tenuous at best, and they weren't necessary to know except in the broad strokes to understand an upcoming episode. Whereas with Stranger Things, Penny Dreadful, you've got an entire singular story arc that has to be stretched out and be relevant and maintain people's attention. And oftentimes they use too many episodes to do it, so it drags on. Some shows get it right and they have the right balance. Like this story is only really worthy of about 4 episodes. So we'll have 2 episodes on either end and 2 individual bottle episodes in between that aren't really necessary but filler. And then you can kind of make it work. So yeah, shows like House succeed because the scripts are in their own individual thing. Shows like Stranger Things, Penny Dreadful. I'm trying to think of another series that I liked the first season of and the rest sucked. But
the one I always go back to though is like Buffy because they did both, and they could do that with these. My point is going to the second season though. You've done your first season. House season to season, I mean, there was some storyline that still continues over, like especially from 3 to 4, where they bring in all the new people. But you have a whole year to make another 8 episodes.
Sure.
You don't. I'm not asking them to make the 20 episodes. I realize that shit's gone because people can't write worth a shit anymore.
Yeah, well, the other advantage House has is that it wasn't a mystery box. Stranger Things was a mystery box. They set up all these conspiracies and hinted at things and all these unanswered questions. For House, there's no unanswered questions. There's no mysteries to it.
That's
Lost.
Exactly. It's the Lost phenomenon because they didn't know what they were doing in Lost either. Abrams is just like, I have all these cool ideas, don't know how they work out, and so they put that part on paper, and then they had to try to fill all those holes in.
Well, one of the problems is not just that writers can't write anymore, but they run out of stuff to rip off.
Fair.
If you look real closely, the Duffer Brothers, who did Stranger Things, have been sued multiple times for theft of ideas. And the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things, they had like 3 lawsuits. And one of them was a guy who pitched the idea of a group of kids being involved in a mystery at a place called Montauk in Long Island.
Right, the Montauk thing.
Yeah, the famous project. And they even admitted that there's some connection to that. But they got sued for that. And I think what happened, hypothetically, is maybe they ran out of stolen material. Because it wasn't the first time they'd been sued for that. They got sued for a movie they did prior to that, too. So we're seeing like a lot of like other ideas from outside realms seeping in. And when they run out of that material, they don't know how to end something because nobody wrote an ending for what they ended up with.
Yeah, they painted themselves into a corner is all it is. And then you saw with season 2, they were just scrambling to come up with something to continue the story on because I always thought Stranger Things, 24, these shows should have been, each season was its own story. I thought 24 would have been a great format to have a different genre per season. You have the first season be an action movie, the second season be a Western leading up to the big gunfight or something. The third season could be like the race to get to the wedding kind of thing. Something different each time.
Yeah,
but,
when they got down to like the sex up series, it was only a 15-minute show. But you made a statement earlier that I have to correct. We don't call it broad strokes anymore. We call them lady strokes.
Lady strokes.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, lady rubbings.
Yeah,
I want to address this in chat real quick because Lindsay says The Walking Dead was solid up until season 6, in my opinion. You have to understand with The Walking Dead, while they do deviate from the comic, compared to most things that are based on a written work or something, they followed it decently.
Yes.
So they just added more dialogue to fill TV time for the stories that had already worked for them.
Yeah,
right. They actually
there
had
was
a
already
respect for the
template.
source material and used the source material as a foundation rather than spurning it like The Witcher or something.
So
Yeah.
there's a hint in there, Marvel.
Yeah, no shit. Have you seen? Did you see the trailer for Wonder Man?
No, I
No.
saw the trailer for a show called Wonder Man.
Oh man.
that never had Wonder Man in it.
So I want to show you their marketing.
While you're pulling that up real quick, thank you, Okie Native. This is your first daily reminder that if you wait until you're in your mid-20s to get your first piece of poos, and it's mid and insane, you'll turn into iDubbbz. And also, here's 1/3 of the price of a cheap mall Chinese food. Thanks, COVID. Yeah, look, iDubbbz was ruined by a woman, and we've seen that happen time and time again.
Sure.
And that guy is probably got a few concussions too many too from getting punched in the head in boxing. But iDubbbz is he's a lost cause. That he's not smart to begin with.
It's gonna make me stop sharing mine before I can share yours. There we go.
All right, so here's their marketing right now for Wonder Man.
Oh,
right. So you got what's his name? Who I think is the same guy who played Dr. Manhattan on the Watchmen TV show. And then you got that's Ben Kingsley down there in the corner.
Oh wait, are our portraits in the way there?
no, it's
You're fine.
He's next to the W standing there. Yeah.
After watching the trailer, this is how I described the trailer. If you took the TV series The Studio with what's his name, and the series called The Franchise, which was sending up superhero productions, and if you put those in a blender and then pretended it was directed by Wes Anderson, that's what you'd get. But I updated their marketing for them.
Yeah.
Why? Nice.
I saw the trailer for it and I was like, this looks even worse than I imagined.
Yeah, it looks like a comedy. It looks like a silly, like quirky comedy out of the mid 2000s or something. I seriously thought this looks like somebody that is a really big fan of Wes Anderson and like the Royal Tenenbaums or something. It just looked silly.
Yeah.
Like why?
I think Disney realized how bad it's going to suck because that's why they're dropping all the episodes at once.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have no confidence in it.
They haven't been doing that for a long time now, so.
Well, they did it with Ironheart. And,
I mean, come on now. That show sucked too.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. Marvel, boy, oh boy. Doomsday, oh man.
I do not want to see that.
I have to see it. I have to see it just to know. I stayed away from Marvel films for a long, long time. I gave Thunderbolts a chance only because I'm a fan of the actual comic book series itself, or the various iterations of it.
Yeah, but
the movie was terrible.
I mean, Citizen V wasn't in there. Moonstone wasn't in there. They didn't do any of the original concept for Thunderbolts.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, Thunderbolts was always kind of Marvel's. Well, the original concept was villains disguised as heroes. It eventually became sort of Marvel's version of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and that's lazy.
Yeah. That is lazy.
That is the kind of movie that should appeal to me because I like superheroes. I don't know anything about them except for, the various characters who've been in different Marvel movies, but I don't have their background like I do with like a Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I heard the plot of it, I'm just like, that is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Well,
and I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
You could tell that at some point they stopped having finished scripts. And it's been noticeable for a while. And they've done all these revisions on the back end. That's why they had so many reshoots for Captain America Brave New World. And look how terrible that movie was.
But this is what I was kind of getting at with the Walking Dead, bringing that up. They have the material.
It's already storyboarded for them.
Just use it.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. I mean, and that's what gave Game of Thrones an advantage for the longest time, because they had a script. It was fully rendered books. They didn't have to like deviate. They didn't have to think too hard about what to do. And as soon as they ran out of books, they're flailing around and they screw it all up.
Yeah,
the ending of that.
I'm torn on it because I like the first season of Game of Thrones, and then until they run out of books, I just felt like basically Martin just was like, you know what? Just make everything as terrible as possible all the time. Like if anybody started to get even a little bit ahead, or like, quick, cut off his wiener and tie him to a chair. And it just got sad.
You can't have happy endings. If you can't have happy endings, or else that ends the series. If everybody's happy, then there's no conflict, and conflict's the only thing that drives story, monkey.
That's so not true.
I know. Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I did love the first season. The first season was great.
Oh, the first season of these shows oftentimes are just, excellent, or at least much more entertaining than their subsequent seasons.
I just picked up the newest season of Dexter, which I still can't believe I'm saying that, because Amazon had it on sale for $10. And I haven't watched it yet because I really liked the last season they did, where they kind of apologized to fans for the way Dexter ended.
Yeah.
And it was good. And they really should have stopped it there. The ending of what was it called? New Blood was perfect. That's how it should have ended. No, not New Blood. It's Dexter. What is it? Resurrection.
Resurrection.
Yeah. And I'm so skeptical going into it because the trailers look good for it. And I am a fan of the Dexter character.
You still haven't watched The Shield, have you?
Not very much of it, no. It's on my to-do list.
It's been on your to-do list for like 7 years.
I am a very complicated man.
That's a nice way to say it. That's what I say when I'm lazy, okay?
No, it's on DVD, and I don't even have a DVD player in my house.
I see, this is the thing. Yeah, I bought you the entire collection, and you can't even watch it. Yeah.
The DVD player in my computer died, but I get all my games now from Steam, so I don't have to have a hard drive or a disk drive. So yeah, I don't really have a way to watch it right now.
All right, hold on. Where is it streaming? It was on Hulu for the longest time. Okay, I think it's still on Hulu. It's on Tubi for free. So
all right,
you can
I'll check it out.
Do you want me to send you a DVD player? I have like 8 of them.
No, you don't. No, I'm good. I have
like
a shit ton.
4 Blu-ray players in this house. I will ship one to you.
I don't watch that much TV. The reason that I watch the same shows over and over is because that's what I have on Amazon, and I'm at my computer, so I just push play.
Yeah.
It's easy and it's background noise.
The death of physical media.
No, never.
I still want DVDs, and like me and Lady Monkey, we just packaged up all our DVDs, and she's like, we can get rid of them. I'm like, no, we can't.
Yeah, no, I had this experience just the other day. I was like, for some reason, I forget exactly what it was, but some rabbit hole or whatever led me down to the remake of The Hills Have Eyes from several years ago, right? And I was oh yeah, boy, oh boy, I know there's an unrated version of that that's probably pretty cool. I wonder if I can get that. And I go on Amazon, and it's like, oh yeah, you can get it for like $149 or something on a used market. Or like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's completely moratorium. It's out of print. And I was like, dang it, I wish I had that. And I was like, wait a second. And I went over to my DVD collection, and I rifled through like, I have it. I have the unrated version. I bought it years ago. I forgot that I had it. I was so happy. I was like, I don't have to go through all this rigmarole. I actually own a copy. The same thing happened with 28 Days Later a while back, when everybody was like, the new movie's coming out, but nobody can get the old movies because they haven't printed them in forever. And I'm like, I've had my copy for like 12 years. Ha ha ha.
Since it came out at first.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
I'm a physical media guy. Me too. I prefer it.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I also do like the convenience of streaming.
Edit it. Yeah.
That's fair too.
Well, look, they've gone back. Netflix has been caught doing it, and so have the studios. And look at all the stuff they've vaulted over the years. Good luck watching Song of the South if you didn't get your South Korean bootleg copy.
Man, the video store I worked at when I was a teenager, actually I grew up with, they had Song of the South in that big clamshell plastic white case in VHS.
Yes.
It was like, that's great.
Yes.
Old times.
Yeah, a lot of stuff gets released overseas. So seriously, South Korea is great for that. They have legit copies that are just released over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to be able to watch the movie I want to watch when I want to watch it. So I'd rather have the disc laying around. Like, I'm sorry, but Kiss will never allow. Well, Gene Simmons will never allow Phantom of the Park to be released again.
That's right.
Long after he's dead. So I'm glad I got my VHS copy. And good luck finding a copy of Puma Man on DVD.
And even if something's streaming, 9 times out of 10, it's like, well, it's on some service I don't have a subscription to, so I have to pay like $20 a month to watch the one thing I want to watch. It's like not even worth the trouble.
Yeah, and they rotate through so quickly. Netflix is horrible for it. Oh, you wanted to watch that? Too bad we got rid of that yesterday.
Well, when they own Warner Brothers, you'll have a perpetual library forever. They will never cycle out anything Warner Brothers unless there's some like controversial reason to.
Snooch said DVD extras
there's a
are
lot of
plus
Warner Brothers.
2. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, big time. No, it's just that if there's something they find objectionable, you're never going to see it again.
Right. Sure. Yep.
Just like the scene where Marty was flipping through, trying to get the sports book back in Back to the Future 2, and Biff had put it on a naughty magazine or something. And they cut that out for the TV broadcast version on TNT, and that's the version that was on Netflix.
Oh, jeez. Come on.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
you
stupid.
didn't know
Wow. No, I didn't. I have
stupid.
physical copies of it, so.
It was just that one scene. And it was just enough that they finally got caught on it because it had been on for months. And they're like, oh, whoopsie, we'll fix that. But it wasn't until they got caught and somebody threw a big fit about it.
I used to hate TV edits, but they made some of the funniest content.
There's some TV edits that actually were they added things that weren't there before. I think it wasn't like the TV edit of the David Lynch Dune movie had the big opening narration that kind of set and had the paintings and everything that showed the backstory of the universe that wasn't in the theatrical. If I'm remembering correctly, there were different.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and some TV versions of movies added extra scenes that weren't in theatrical. It depends on what we're talking about, but there's some TV edits that might not be too bad. It depends on what they edited in or out.
Well, I always liked when they had to do dubbing over bad words.
Oh yeah,
because you could still see the person say "fuck" and then they'd be fudge.
Yes, fudge.
And not even this. It was badly dubbed half the time too. Clearly, a different actor who sounds nothing like the original.
Yeah.
Until they got smart about it and started actually redoing the voiceover with the original characters. My favorite one ever, and I never understood why they did this edit. It's from Major League when the old pitcher, he drinks the rum for Jobu, and he walks out onto the field and he says, "Up your butt, Jobu," or that's what he says when he drinks it. And for some reason in the TV cut, they changed it to up your bucket, Jobu. I was like,
wow.
All he said was up your butt.
That's too much.
Well,
it's too much.
That's discriminatory against the gays.
Sometime in my lifetime, TV edits started changing it from where they used to bleep damn in goddamn to bleeping God in goddamn.
Well, I mean, on YouTube, you can't say the S word is referring to someone's self-deletion without getting demonetized.
Suicide?
Yeah.
You can say that on my show. We're small enough I don't get demonetized.
Yeah, I've talked with some of my true crime pals about this, about the modified linguistics of being a true crime content creator on YouTube in order to not get demonetized. All of the weird analogies and new terminology they use to get around saying what actually happened in the course of a crime without
And
saying it. It's
I
ridiculous.
I don't understand it. I mean, these are words that are said on broadcast television.
Yeah.
Well, it's the unaliving of monetization.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's silly.
Yeah, the reason that true crime could get away with saying all of those things and they'd be monetized, they just miss out on that bump when you release a video.
Mm-hmm.
Because YouTube tells people, hey, have us review your video first, and that's where they get hit all the time.
Right.
Where if they just released it, they probably still wouldn't get hit, but you're going to miss out on that first couple of days.
Well, they've started adding age verification on too.
What?
Depends on the video. I mean, if the video if the video's been flagged for subject matter, then it will ask you ahead of time or give you a warning. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you say the no words,
yes,
you get hit with age verification.
Yeah, that's why they do it
a couple times now, mostly with true crime videos.
Yeah, unless you have a really solid like Patreon community or something. If you're operating mostly on ad revenue and you don't have any sponsors or something, then yeah, they have to say she was essayed or they self-deleted, or they have to they have to blur out certain words or mute certain syllables in the words they're saying. It's so silly.
And that is so stupid, because you just rewrite your sentence. Instead of saying she was raped, you say and they discovered that she had been assaulted.
Yes.
That's it.
She had been outraged. She'd been outraged.
she had been known biblically by force. Because saying these code words makes you sound retarded.
Yeah.
And he unalived himself. Why don't they just say, and he met his fate at his own hand? Or
my person. The one I made up that I like the most is he subtracted himself from the equation of life.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can get poetic with it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like my dad used to like to say, why don't you go forth and procreate unilaterally? Because he didn't like saying the F word. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just, it's not going to age well in the long run. You're going to sound like you're a kook.
Yeah, but
people that don't know what you're talking about.
But it's a matter of necessity, unfortunately. It's the rules they've set and the restrictions they placed, and it's just, what are you going to do? If this is the only platform on which you could possibly maybe make a living as a documentarian or content creator, this is the only game in town. So
I give streamers shit for not saying the words, because trust me, I've said worse than almost every streamer we've ever covered or talked about.
Sure.
And I am mostly monetized. The only time I get demonetized is if I go real hard in a title against a Democrat. It's very weird.
I rarely ever even attempt to monetize my videos until relatively recently, when I was like, I'll give it a shot, because for the longest time, and like, once bitten, twice shy, every time I try to monetize things back in the day, it would just either be like immediately you couldn't monetize it, or I'd be in the yellow. And I think, what's the point? Besides which, for as many views as my stuff gets, if someone gives me a $2 donation in the course of the stream, that's 20 times anything that video would make with ads.
Oh,
so it's like, why bother?
For me, it was out of principle. I challenged literally every single one of those. And for a while, it was every day I had to challenge them. And I won most of the challenges, and now they don't even... I can't remember the last time I got a yellow circle right off.
Yeah, I once in a while, like every other stream or something, I might monetize something after it's already gone live, because ads in the middle of a live broadcast annoy me, so I don't monetize them before I go live. But yeah, no, as far as I can tell, I can't remember the last time I got a can't monetize something. Oh, except for if I let a TEDx play too long without interruption, then I'll get some kind of like content match thing, and I'll get zapped for it. That's why I'm always having to like have sort of a passive mental countdown in my head of like 10 or 15 seconds, where it's like, now I got to say something, even if I have nothing to say. And if I have nothing to say, I say, I'm pausing for YouTube's sake, blah, blah, and then move on.
Yeah, fair enough. We've only got hit with that on a couple of videos. Most places we're fine with. Who was it that did that to us recently, Jack?
Fuck,
I can't remember.
Did we get hit by another YouTuber?
No, it was Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Yes,
Oh.
he uses the content match thing. And it's not like he was watching our show. He just makes use of YouTube's content match, and we showed too many seconds of it. We showed too many seconds of it in a row.
Yeah.
I still have a
not
certain level of pride that Lizzo claimed my TEDx talk on her. So whatever nickel that my video on the Lizzo TEDx talk earned, it went to Lizzo, which I feel happy about. Yeah,
I
She
have
needed it.
literally paused a video a second into it to start commenting.
Yeah.
I get why, especially with like Tucker Carlson, I get why he does it. He comes from old school media and got to protect everything.
True.
But the media landscape really has changed. And you see it now with so many of these places that used to protect their own content so hard. They're putting the shit on YouTube now themselves.
Yeah. And there's been enough lawsuits from content creators that have started to set precedents about, okay, yeah, fair use is a thing.
Yep.
And, at a certain point, you guys are going to have to like give up a little ground for the sake of being criticized.
Well, fair use is supposed to allow for criticism. And for so long, the only people who still get away with the old school method is sports. And I've never understood why they do.
That's true. Yeah. Rebroadcasting other places' footage for the sake of like, this is what happened in the look at this home run that happened or whatever.
If you listen to the thing at the end of all the games, it's like even an account of the game is prohibited.
Oh,
So
they
technically,
can't really stop that.
yeah, every time we've gotten on here when I've just watched like my Chargers lose or something and I've talked about it, I'm breaking the law, you guys.
Yeah, according to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not. No. That's a bunch of horse shit. They can't stop you from describing a thing that happened.
Perhaps because sports has the oldest form of commentary. That's probably true. The problem with it though, again, you're supposed to be able to do what is it? Education, commentary, criticism. There's one other. I'm fine with the notion of only using, and in fact, I support it, only using as much as you need.
Yeah.
Because I do believe in copyright. I believe in intellectual property. I know there's folks who've moved away from that a little bit, commie fucks, but intellectual property is important. That's why I support fair use, is that I do. You can't support fair use without supporting copyright. Because without copyright, you don't need fair use.
Right.
Yeah.
What category would Asmongold fall into? What do you mean? What category?
Yeah, well, he would fall into criticism,
commentary and criticism.
Yeah, and review, because he reviews stuff too. Like, look at that shitty camera work.
I mean, it's not very often, but even some of his is educational. He's not the smartest guy, but occasionally he does give his audience facts that many of them might not have.
Right.
Then people scream you left out context. I used to run into this.
That's up to the individual.
When I made videos back in the day, you put in as much content or as much as you can of the context.
Right.
I mean, Hassan claims people take him out of context even when the full context is there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you took me out of context. And if you watch what's around it, there's no other context.
Right.
That's
but ultimately, you as the viewer, it's incumbent upon you to also not take one person's word for something if you actually want to know what's going on either. I mean, everybody's got an angle, or some people just. I mean, I put out in my early YouTube, I put out a couple of videos where I completely shit the bed, as it were, because I didn't have the context, and I said a bunch of things on a couple of videos that I was like called out on after that. I was like, oh shit, you're right. And I had to either take them down or issue a correction or something. And I was like, I got to be careful in the future. At the same time, it's like if I watch something and I take one person's word for something, I could be setting myself up for a fall too.
Well, I used to have to worry about context because there were times where I'd watch people who were doing anti-SJW stuff, and they would clip it in a way. The Anita Sarkeesian one is probably the best example of this, where she, you know, everything's sexist, everything's racist, and you have to point it all out.
Right.
And so many people jumped on that and were like, look, she's saying everything is racist, which isn't actually what she was saying.
No.
But the full context doesn't make it any better, really. Because what she was talking about in that is that when you first become woke, when you first become awakened to all the stuff around you, you are militant in it. And you get this with people like, you know, ex-smokers become the worst fucking people to smokers. Right. That kind of mentality.
They think they've had a revelation. They think they're somehow the enlightened ones now or something because, oh my gosh, I just discovered this thing. Now I'm the expert. And
they have to preach the gospel.
Yes.
And that's what she was talking about. Still within the context of noticing racism, noticing sexism. But so many people miss the overall part of that. So I was very careful when I'd make my videos to get the full context for whatever it was I was going to say. If you watch my videos, I probably only have maybe 10 to 15 seconds worth of anybody's part out of their 20-minute video for whatever I was going to say. I took just as much as I needed and no more, no less.
Yeah, that's the problem I ran into with the TEDx talks is that you couldn't, like some talks you could just do the first couple of minutes and that was enough. But oftentimes it's like I always felt like if I stop here, then somebody's going to say, oh, well, they said this or that at the end or did whatever. And so I felt compelled, especially with those. It's like, no, let's listen to the entire deal. Let's give them a whole platform and not try to edit it and make sure if something does go goofy, I point it out. But no, I like the idea of giving someone their whole time to make their point, to make their argument, whatever it is, and not pick and choose any more than I have to. Let's say.
It's also why I don't tend to cover videos on here that I agree with, because then I'm just sitting there going, "Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right," and I don't find that to actually be commentary. That's lazy, honestly.
Yeah. I don't cover things. What?
No, I mean, you just criticized Hassan and Frogan.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's boring too to just to be a yes man or just be somebody. I mean, this is why sometimes, you know, I'll see a talk or a panel discussion or something on a topic, and I'll be fooled. Like the title will say something, and I'll think, oh, this is going to be about some issue or subject that I have some doubt about or some I don't want to say animosity towards, but maybe some criticism towards. And then I'll have been fooled, or I'll have fooled myself, and the person's saying things that I agree with. Or they're saying something completely different. And I'll just sit there and I'll be like, well, I agree. And you just kind of take it. When you do these things blind, it's kind of like, well, you know, and be surprised maybe you find somebody who's a kindred spirit on the subject. But it's always worthwhile to listen to different perspectives, even from people that you sense you may agree with, because you never know. It could be a different take on it. Maybe they've got an angle that you learn something from or are in opposition to. So I try to look at it from that perspective.
Hoko, thank you for becoming a member for month number 13. Hey. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Happy New Year. We're in the era that no one will believe either side. Blatant facts in front of them. These people are diehard team sports. You're not really wrong about that.
Yeah. No, we're so tribalized now.
It's annoying. Hey, Randall, how you doing? Randall says it's been so long since Monkey made actual videos. There's no telling whose life makes him sad. That's not true. That line still comes out in streams from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tribalism issue is probably the biggest thing annoying me right now in politics. You have to be able to criticize your own side. You have to. This is why and not even your own side. You need to be on your side and have principles. These are my principles. If you agree with these, then we're on the same side. Doesn't matter. Democrat, Republican, green, commie, whatever it is. These are my principles. If we agree on those things, then we're on the same side. And
but
instead, it has become well, I hate that politician, so I'm against them all the time.
Yeah, the actual bigotry is rampant. You have to allow for the possibility that you could be wrong about something. Not necessarily like living in constant self-doubt, but at least be open to the idea that you could learn something different. But no, this last year, I talked about the other night, this last year really bummed me out for many reasons, but in this context, Charlie Kirk aftermath. The utter and absolute monstrosity and inhumanity of the people who were celebrating his death, and then the utter silence from the moderates from that side that didn't really downplay their ideological neighbors.
Yeah.
It reminded me so much of the COVID death cults with people celebrating someone dying or getting sick if they happen to be on the other side of the vaccine equation or something. And just just how much my faith in humanity was lost during that era. It reminded me so much of that during the Charlie Kirk aftermath that I guess we haven't learned our lessons yet.
Something Jews. There,
exactly. So, Somalians are stealing money. Obviously, the Jews are doing it. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Obviously, the Jews are doing it. What era are we living in, for fuck's sake?
The era
Charlie
of
Kirk,
Candace Owens.
The Charlie Kirk aftermath. I mean, it was even worse in the team sports part because that Minnesota politician that got killed. And
yes, yeah, the couple that got killed up there.
Yeah.
Or got shot.
You had several people come out and be like, Republicans didn't say anything when that happened. It's like, no, here's Mike Johnson's statement on it. And they're like,
right.
And couldn't just admit they were wrong, that they were just being reactionary and being like, well, we're dickheads, so you guys must be too.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, they can't, again, you have to allow for the possibility of wrong. And you have to allow for some basic, you would think, common human decency, regardless of political affiliation.
Human decency.
Well, you would hope, but
we're living on stolen land. How can you say that? Allow me to move even further.
Stolen land.
Hoko, thank you. Dems don't believe the FBI stopped attacks 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Well, admittedly, the FBI has a very sketchy track record when it comes to stopping attacks or encouraging mentally ill people into making a splash headline.
Yeah.
So I don't blame people for being wary of those stories because after, what was that? Wasn't it Minnesota or whatever, where it was like going after the governor? Or was it Michigan? Was it Michigan?
Michigan. Yeah.
Michigan, yeah. And there's been so many other stories of taking someone who is a little goofy on the internet and buttering them up with fake stories of joining this, that, or the other, and then busting them as a potential terrorist. Like, so yeah, I don't blame people for that one. It might be completely true. I hope it is true in the sense that they actually did stop an attack and it wasn't some kind of con job. Yeah. But being wary of the FBI's efforts on that front is a healthy place to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do get the point here that if this had, say it was the Biden administration and this happened, those same people wouldn't be skeptical at all.
No, of course not.
And that's, again, it's part of the team sport problem. And I just want to reiterate, I'm not on y'all's team. I'm on my team with my principles. And if we're aligned, awesome. If we're not, then you're wrong. I don't know how to help you with that.
Well, that was the subject of the TEDx I did last night was, can you be friends with someone you disagree with? And I'm like, yes, comma, depending. What are we disagreeing on?
Yeah, I do think that because there's a lot of talk these days about how divided everybody is. And in fairness, some of that makes sense to me. Like, if you are of the mindset that abortion is murder, I don't know how you can be friends with somebody who's like all abortion all the time.
Right.
Because that is so morally distinct.
Yes.
I mean, those are polar opposites on a moral line. But like, should people be able to get soda on food stamps? You disagree with me on that? We can still be friends.
Yeah. I said last night, do you think DC comic characters are better than Marvel comic book characters? It's like, I might disagree with you, but, you know. Or The Hunt for Red October is the greatest film ever made. That's a steeper hill for me to climb. It's nearly a 90-degree angle, but I could probably come up with a reason to ignore it in polite company.
I think having disagreements is not just doable, but it's healthy.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
We can't be in lockstep. What did we just hear Mom Donnie say? It's like we're going to fight the chilling nature of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What kind of death sentence is that to a culture? Jesus.
Well, that's actually a pretty typical communist talking point.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's not surprising you said that. It's just sad.
Brody gifted a membership. Thank you.
Hey.
Nice.
Dangerous Spaces got it.
There it
Dangerous.
is,
Dangerous.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, that line specifically, because this has been something I've been talking about for a while too with Americans. Americans used to be proud to be individuals.
Yes.
We championed our individuals, and now we're moving to the place. No, it's the collective. AOC came out and talked about how they were going to what was her wording exactly? Stop taking care of the few or the we're going to start making prosperity for the many instead of just for the elite few. And I'm like, name the communist country or socialist, whichever fucking dumbass word you want to use, that has ever led to prosperity for the masses rather than just for the privileged few.
Right.
Just name one. I'm willing to learn.
The Smurfs.
Even when Chavez first takes over the oil industries down there in Venezuela, and things are going well for the country, it wasn't going well for all of the little people.
Nope.
He was living it up. And then even when the oil industry falls out and the country goes into absolute poverty, the guys at the top still living it up.
Well, all they needed to do, Monkey, was open a daycare center.
I'm thinking.
I went to college. I've been working my entire adult life. I had no idea that all I had to do was call my YouTube channel a daycare center, and I'd be living it up.
You know what's funny? I know people who've gotten into daycare. My one friend's wife, who tried literally every kind of way to get rich that she ever heard of.
Legitimate daycare.
Yes, she was getting into doing legitimate daycare, and the hoops she had to go through and the paperwork she had to keep filed was almost a little bit stupid.
Oh yeah, and plus the inspections.
Yeah, and now apparently all you have to do is, look like you're inbred.
No, you also have to rent an office space with your PPP money.
Or the entire bureaucracy is peopled with individuals who are either on your side by nature of ethnicity or just because of fears of being called racist if they say no to somebody that isn't white. So
racist or Islamophobic.
Well, yeah, you get the double whammy there.
Yeah.
Darth Mondo says, name it Bridge Leering Center. No. I'm just going to name it, I'm stealing money pretending that I have kids here. Because apparently you don't have to be subtle.
I'd name it Breast Leering Center. Because then you get all three words wrong.
No, I just call it Potemkin Daycare Center.
Yeah.
Don't even pretend. Just to it's a daycare center. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
It's oh man,
the amount of people. Name's Truman.
The amount of people who are now coming out in favor of fraud is fucking insane.
Well, it tells you where we're at in society about how stupid, gullible people are.
Well, it's not only that, but they are ideologically disallowed from saying otherwise. Because if they were to step even a smidge over the line in agreeing with MAGA, then they've lost all of their parties, they've lost all their friends, they're suspect forever. This is really the line of demarcation of the litmus test of ideological purity. Can you look at something that's demonstrably bad inarguably bad and try to call it good because otherwise you'd be on the other team by some fashion.
We
nuts.
saw this with the police chief down there. All he did is come out and say, yes, there are problems here. And they're like, oh, you better go out there and apologize. And he had to come out and apologize and be like, I'm sorry if my words hurt anybody.
Right. It's beyond ridiculous at this point. And I don't know. But here's the thing, as we said before, unless or until people are actually held to account in a serious way, then nothing will change.
No, it'll get worse. But I'm not saying things are bad right now. I'm just saying that if your name is Anastasia and your dad's name is Nicholas, might be a good time to avoid basements.
Selected grouping. Thank you. Thank you for that, feminist $12. We are groups to get money from billionaires. We aren't groups when we commit fraud and will get punished together. Yeah. Look, I do want to be clear about this. I don't think that these people are involved in fraud because of some innate criminality of Somalis. It's from their culture that they came from, and if broken from that culture, then it wouldn't be a problem. They would assimilate just fine, but we don't assimilate anymore.
We don't require it. No.
Well, and the worst part is the people that they're bringing over are used to fraud and corruption, so that becomes the norm. We've gone in reverse. We don't assimilate people into our culture. We start to assimilate our culture to their backward ideologies.
Yes. Well, I mean, at the same time, being able to overcome the limitations and survive by deception or otherwise can become an admirable trait if you're living in a completely totalitarian or starvation-led country. And then if you're able to survive in the midst of all of that by hook or by crook, that can be something to be admired.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's also the fact that we don't require assimilation, except in like actual people who actually go through the citizenship process where they have to demonstrate, at least on paper. I don't know how well they're enforced, but to demonstrate that they are of good character, that they have an understanding and appreciation for the laws of the United States and the Constitution, they can speak English and so on and so forth, that there's some effort made by someone coming to this country to live here permanently, that they have an appreciation for the country they're coming to. And those requirements have obviously either been softened or completely irrelevant if you're led across the border just freely. So,
real quick, thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Okie Native. Once the country inevitably tips over the edge and goes commie, don't worry, I'll be fine. I have the drive, the ruthlessness, and moral compass that will allow me to set the rest of you up and sacrifice you for my greater good to be one of the Politburo. Oh, well, I'm not as worried now. Thank you,
okay. I'm just sitting back watching what's happening, and I feel like an old man. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm seeing this, and it seems so obvious what's going on. They're like, look where they put the Somali immigrants. They went to states that had been toss-up states, and they moved them in next to heavily Democrat cities.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen to them? And when it comes to refugees have a way easier time to get naturalized, and become voters and change the elections. For all the people who are like, oh, they're going to get the illegals because they get votes, that is a really hard hurdle to get to. All they need for that is the electoral college numbers, the census numbers. But to actually change the state's voting, you put them in places where, it's on the edge. And now we just bring in a whole group of people who we're going to conveniently get rich off of the taxpayer. Where are they going to vote? They're not going to vote for the Republican who's going, hey, these guys are corrupt as shit. It's so obvious that this was done on purpose. And the news media, I fucking hate our news. I cannot say that enough. The people were the watchers aren't watching. They're playing along. I mean, I watch young people like the Hassans of the world, and I realize he's actually getting quite old, but his audience and these, oh, they just hate brown people. No, we don't. We hate you bringing in people and changing our country into the shithole they ran from.
Right.
Yeah, but in their mind, it's okay because they hate this country.
Yeah.
They don't know how good they have it. Because again, they're completely ignorant, like we were talking about with the Iranian thing. They don't know that you can't go dancing in the street in Iran because they're uneducated and they're lazy and sometimes really dumb. So of course they're gonna support their team. They don't know any better, and they don't do any critical thinking or investigation into what's going on. They just assume that, well, our team said it was okay.
Two things. First, hi Satsu.
What up, though?
How you doing, my friend?
I was doing all right until the Somali topic came up.
Well, actually, I want to address what Ebony just said here because it's.
Oh, hi, Ebony.
Hi,
She
Ebony.
says, I always found it odd that people from East Africa would move to a state with really harsh winters. Yeah, that's odd, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit of a transition, I would say.
Test your might.
When they started moving them in from the fucking desert, Minnesota is still a lefty state, but it was still a toss-up state. Just bring in a whole bunch, and look, now it's solidly blue.
From a photograph, sand dunes look a lot like snow dunes.
Look, I just came in. I need to ask, did we talk about the people who had been the Somali people who had been on the news talking about the break-in, and then the other chick who accidentally admitted that they were doing fraud? Did we discuss those yet?
We talked about the other one yesterday and briefly talked about it today, but I that was the guy with the break-in where for some reason they stole the names of the kids who go there.
Yeah, and the names of all the employees.
And the employees. And not checks from the checkbook, papers from the checkbook. You know, the receipts, let's be honest.
And the culprits were wearing red MAGA hats and had a bottle of bleach and said, "This is MAGA country," as they broke the windows.
In a Nigerian accent.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Real quick again. Thank you, Okie Native. Also, we'll start a daycare. Call it on-site supervision, where we will enroll hot single mothers. I like where your head's at. Install cameras in the MILF bedroom and bathroom and charge people to watch the camera. And nothing in the name is technically a lie. It will be a website.
My daughter sent me a clip of The Office where Dwight sets up a daycare in regard to this story. If you guys know the scene, it's probably too on point. Satsu, what was the other story? The woman who admitted fraud?
Yeah, she was reading from an obvious script, and she said the words out of her mouth, "I know that fraud is wrong," and then completely stopped and covered her mouth and was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it was a spokesperson reading from a script talking about. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Now,
I didn't see that one.
Okay, now that video was interesting enough, and everybody was talking about that moment. But I went back and I'm like, wait a fucking minute. She put her hand over her face, and this bitch had on a rock that was fucking massive. Like whatever ring she had on her finger was huge. I'm just like, wait a minute. You're a medical student struggling to find childcare? That ring can pay for this building.
It was pubic zirconium.
And then the dude who owned the daycare that was talking about people broke in, did y'all notice that he was wearing like, I think those glasses are like $2,500.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're designer sunglasses.
I'm just like, what the fuck? And these dumbass fucking white women just nodding behind them like, oh, it's such a tragedy that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Satsu, when they showed the hole, did you notice that the sheetrock had been pulled in and not the other way around? So if it was a break in, that sheetrock would have been in the hole and not on the outside of the room.
Dude, that was literally the first thing I noticed when they were showing it.
Hey, I saw a lot of Law and Order, dude. Come on, you're not even trying. It's like anybody that watched Forensic Files could have staged a better break-in.
Hey, Monkey, I just retweeted you a revised version of that video. You might want to play.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. The folks over at CNN just told me today that they checked on all of those places and they were all on the up and up.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure there were. You know what really pissed me off? The narrative that made me the most mad is this whole what's with these grown men showing up to schools asking for children. These men are basically acting like pedophiles and asking. I would be so angry if those were my children. They were asking, like, that shit infuriated me.
Those parents would be upset if the children really existed.
Yeah,
listen to this
imaginary kids and imaginary parents.
This is great.
Okay.
Hey guys. Well, I'm the only Somali who speaks English. So
think you missed my donation 4 to 10 minutes ago. Oh, good little Somali. Thank you. I might have. Hang on, let me refresh real fast.
Somali.
I'm so sorry about that. Oh yes, good little Somali. Thank you that's 8 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. Before we got to the US, we don't know the word fraud. We just assimilate and follow along with Democrats who show us the way of their culture. Hillary, very good teacher of taking money from Haiti. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Good one.
Oh my God. Show of hands of anybody who walked inside of a daycare and saw this motherfucker standing around and was just like, yeah, I want my kid here.
I want to know why all Somalis look alike. And just a reminder,
You know
I'm not
why.
saying black people look alike. Somalis do.
You know why?
Inbreeding.
Because they're all siblings.
They're all descended from Yaqub. I would go to a daycare that had that white lady working there. Look at her. She looks like she doesn't know where she is right now.
Okay, back to our video.
they always call me to come talk to you white people and to tell you, please stop investigating us and let us do fraud in peace. Somalis are a peaceful fraud community. We want to steal taxpayer money in peace without FBI jailing our ass. We even hired this liberal crazy white bitch.
Accurate. It's the most honest thing I've ever seen.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Come act like she supports us. Look at her. Look at that Karen face and the eyes. It's always the eyes. Anyway, please stop investigating us and let us steal your taxpayer money in peace.
All right. They got me with the crazy white bitch.
That was beautiful.
That was. Yes.
She was like, they better run a train on me like they promised.
They let her mainline some powdered pumpkin spice off their wieners.
Milf Adishu.
Yeah.
It's just so obvious.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of every news story. Like there's nothing to see here. They've been stopping fraud here for decades.
Yeah.
There's lots of oversight, Monkey. I was told that.
I have to drop out, guys. I'm running out of gas for the day. I was up at, as usual, 4 a.m. for work and everything else. So,
Ew.
I know. But I get to sleep in tomorrow, presumably, until my body wakes me up at like 5 in the morning. But whatever.
Thanks for coming and hanging out, bud.
Well, thanks for having me on, Monkey. Nice to see you, and Jack, and Satsu. And everybody in the chat, hope you all have had so far and on forward a good new year. And also, I have a YouTube channel. I do stuff there too. Not as cool as Monkey, but you know, I try.
Go check out the Scribe Light channel, guys. For those of you who don't know Scribe, old friend of mine around here, and really good guy. Does well.
Only a few gray hairs. What are you talking about? Oh.
I would say most known for his Ted Excellent series.
Yep, probably. For better or
And-
for worse.
I would say for better, because somebody needed to keep an eye on those assholes.
Bit by bit, listen to what they have to say. But either way, guys, get good sleep when you sleep and have a good weekend. And I will see you in the proverbial funny papers.
Bye, Scribbles.
Take care, bud. Have a good night. Notice the black guy shows up and he leaves.
I don't even know who that was. So.
That was Polydub.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. Some guy that goes by the name Scribelight.
Ah, weird.
So, Satsu, thoughts on the overall Somali situation?
I am becoming very racist.
Well, it's not racist if you're against one specific country. So, if you were white, maybe.
I could see if they had brought over Ukrainians, which they didn't because, wrong color to come into the U.S. But if we'd brought in Ukrainians, I could see wherever they put them, fraud blowing up. You know why? Because Ukraine is a corrupt fucking country.
Yeah, any of the former Eastern Bloc country like that a lot of those people commit a lot of crime.
Yeah. And so if we brought a bunch of them in here, it'd be a whole bunch of foreign white people doing the shit.
Yeah.
Stop bringing in foreigners. How about that?
What? No, that's racist.
And I'm not against immigration overall. I think we probably need a little bit still just for population numbers, because what white people are fucking and what black people are fucking, they're killing their babies. So we got to do something.
Well, they should be incentivizing more reproduction here instead of outsourcing all the time, because it's the lazy way of doing it.
Yeah. Just stop bringing in hundreds of thousands of refugees from places that are nothing like us.
It's funny that you guys are saying that, because they are actively and literally doing the opposite. Because he was saying they should incentivize people having more kids here, but they've been doing everything they can to actively stop people from having kids here so they can be replaced.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is it's an intentional destruction of our moral and cultural fabric because they hate this country. Mm-hmm. So the easiest way to destroy it in the long term is to disincentivize the native population from reproducing and passing along their ideas and morals, and importing people with different ones that are easier to manipulate or control, or that are open to the corruption that you bring.
Sand says we don't, because there's 330 million people here already. Our birth rates are drastically low.
And that's mostly because, like Satsu said, they're aborting a lot of kids and disincentivizing Americans from having kids. There used to be a lot more incentives to have children.
And they're also making it more difficult, like financially and just economically, to have kids. Like a lot of people are choosing not to for those reasons. But as you can see, they're not doing anything to help those people financially, but they are bringing in their new batches of voters. And I'm telling y'all right now, y'all and everybody, like the entire collective United States, completely underestimated how pissed off the Democrats were that first time that Trump won.
Oh, I did not underestimate them at all. I actually think that if JD Vance doesn't win in 2028, America is in for a rough 4 years.
Yeah.
I would be highly surprised if he did win.
Trump winning a second term, if you think that him winning that first one and taking away Hillary's victory caused the Democrats to be upset, this second one, it's going to be tragic what happens.
Yeah, they are going to really go full bore.
They just elected a flat-out commie as the mayor of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go full bore. What little they tried to hide that shit is going to be gone.
And we know for a fact, like it is 100% proven fact that they just, whenever anything swings in a way that doesn't seem favorable when it comes to elections in their area, particularly the state ones, we already have tons of evidence that they just cheat. They're just like, yeah, we'll just fucking cheat. We stuffed the ballot box. We got videos of people doing that stuff. People delivering fucking satchels and bags of fucking ballots that they just bring in from nowhere, out of nowhere. These backdoor shit. Like it's all, and nobody gives a shit. That's the part that makes me like, that's like driving me crazy. Is just like nobody cares. They're just like, yeah, you know, whatever. Like what?
Good Little Italian, thank you so much. Said this all reminds me of when us Italians committed fraud with unions. Till Democrats got in bed with unions everywhere and taught us how to hide our crimes. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's what I was complaining about earlier, Satsu. Well, before you joined, nobody has been punished for any of these misdeeds, and they get away with it. They're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I got people telling me that, like, I shouldn't criticize Waltz because he's doing something about it right now, and if it wasn't for him taking action, it would have gotten way worse. And I'm like, how long has this motherfucker been in office?
Almost 8 years. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to praise him because this has been happening under his watch for 8 years.
Yeah, he is running for an unprecedented third term.
Yep.
And he'll probably win.
Bearman asked, Vance versus Newsom, who would win? You're probably not going to like my answer.
Yeah,
At this point, I think Newsom has a good chance. 6 months ago, no, but the left has done a very good job of preaching to Americans how horrible they have life right now.
Yeah, well, it's always easier to point out bad things than good things because people are inherently a bit more nihilistic.
Newsom, he literally destroyed California.
Yep.
And walked out of that bitch with his dick out and 2 middle fingers up. Didn't even look at the explosion. And motherfuckers are like, yeah, we want him. I'm just like,
yeah,
wait
because they're collectivists. That's their team. So they have to support him no matter how bad it is, because they always believe that eventually their decayed, horrifically outdated philosophy will somehow magically work because they're idiots or they're willfully ignorant.
Well, they believe
it's dangerous.
They believe that the consequences don't apply to them. So they're just like, we're gonna facilitate this government kind of takeover. We're going to put ourselves in a position where all this overreach is done, and essentially hand all the government all the power, and then they're going to do our bidding.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of arrogance that they have. But look at all of Europe is probably 2 years ahead of us on this stuff.
Oh,
and look how bad they are spiraling. Real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. They've already started the propaganda train on saying how no matter how bad Trump Vance is worse. No matter how bad Trump is, Vance is worse. Their media control is still in full effect. Yeah, there's very little out there other than X and maybe Rumble that is countering their narrative. And you're mostly preaching to the choir on those platforms.
Even all the right wingers that I see videos from are on the train of like, everything's so expensive, the rich are getting all the money and people just can't live. And things are not that bad. Yes, look, I understand prices have gone up. But unless I miss something, there hasn't been a massive outbreak of people starving to death and getting kicked out of their homes, or even as high as rent is, people are still living indoors.
For now.
In California.
No, not in California. I'm not saying things are great, but they're not as bad as they're being portrayed. People are acting like we're literally living under the czar again.
Well, you're literally talking about the same people who watch CNN today, and they're just like, Donald Trump said he was going to decrease the price of eggs, but there's still $1 million. And people go to the store and buy eggs for $3 and be like, man, that Donald Trump. And I'm just like, bro, you shop for groceries every day. You know that's a lie. Like,
you don't know me.
When it comes to the left wing, I expect that, but I'm seeing that same shit from right wingers.
You see a lot of people being paid propagandists too.
Dude, I bought 3 cartons of eggs. They were like $1.70 a piece.
Yeah,
the other day.
Prices have really not gone up. They just haven't come down from Biden. Yeah, they're back to normal inflation. And we just haven't had the correction in wages to make up for the massive inflation we had under Biden.
Yeah, it was like super low. What was it, like 1 or 2 before Biden? Biden brought it up to like fucking 9, and then he brought it down to like 6. And they're like, "Oh my god, look at the improvement. Look how good we're doing now." And I'm like, "Bro, it was at like 2 before." And they like, "But it went down a lot because of us." And I'm just like,
normal inflation.
Serious Overton window shift.
Normal healthy inflation is about 3% a year. Biden kicked it up to about 12%, and that's with the new way that they do it. If they did it the same way that they did back in the 80s during the massive inflation, late 70s, 80s, Biden's inflation would have actually been closer to 20%. But they don't count food in that inflation price that we always talk about.
well, I mean, and I swear to God, like the problem for me is just like I hate everybody. And there's some blame to dish out to all of them, you know what I mean? And you can't even spend enough time looking at 1 or 2 situations because, like, you know, there's just so much going on. And at this point, I swear to God, like, I'm just like, I'm done paying taxes.
Yeah. This is Kyle. Thank you. The youth has fallen for communism, and that's why you see this nonsense on both the left and right. Yeah, you really have. I remember, was it the first Trump election? I can't remember, but you had politicians coming out and being like, this poor guy has to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. When I was a kid, they used to run stories every now and then on the news about a dad who wanted the best for his family. So he was working 3 jobs. And we looked at that guy and went, this is a guy doing whatever he has to make ends meet and provide for his family. And now we're like, he's got to work 8 hours in one day? The horror.
Yeah.
Next, he'll be sitting on the floor at Starbucks crying about it.
Yeah, work-life balance, guys. You know, we can't be doing that.
Bunch of lazy motherfuckers out there.
And once again, it is the promise of like, all right, guys, you know, everything's going to be free. You're not going to have to worry about anything. Don't worry. We're going to tax the rich just like we did the last time and the time before and the time before that and the time before that. And then you're like, oh, so you're going to change the law this time? And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. But we will tax the rich like we did every other time.
We're going to change the definition of what rich is to include everybody that makes over 40 grand.
Dude, I'm just waiting for the fact that, because you remember, tax the millionaires, they're terrible. And then once the Democrats became millionaires, they're like, oh, tax the billionaires. I'm waiting for them to bump up to trillion now. So now they can just tax the 5 people.
Once Elon hits that amount, then they'll go after that.
Okay, I'm going to address this one more time. Stevie says boomers bought homes at 25, Gen X at 30, millennials at 40. That's a massive problem. So they distract by talking about the cost of minimal expenses. Once again, if you were buying houses like boomers bought, you probably could buy it at 25 too. Their houses were half the size of modern houses. And mom and dad weren't paying for 6 phone lines. Probably didn't even have cable.
Cable in a lot of cases didn't exist at that point.
Yeah.
I get the prospect of some people, because like me looking and talking to people who have been looking for houses or whatever, some of the requirements have gone up extensively for, you know, what it takes to get a house and what they expect you to make and stuff like that. So there is some truth to it, but it's definitely not catastrophic as people claim it is, but it is significantly worse, I believe.
But again, do you know why houses cost so much more? Yes, there is some amount of it where material costs have gone up. Part of that is better building materials. Part of it is more power requirements for a house. A house today requires a shit ton more power than a house in 1960. When you had a telephone, a television, and a radio. How many of you guys have something plugged into a smart device right now recharging? You know how many times your your boomer grandparents were recharging their phones?
Well, I mean, if people really wanted to buy houses, they would go to East Cleveland because there's plenty of mansions over there. I mean, it does look like the next set of The Last of Us, but you know, I mean, they're cheap. I saw a house over there for $20,000.
It's not a.
Yeah, I was
looking at. Sorry, Jack, but looking at what the houses are selling for now, look at the size of the houses. So many people are like, "Oh, but boomers were able to buy their house at 25." Look at the house they bought versus what you're buying now. There's a reason it's more expensive. It's much bigger. The house size has gone. The average house size right now is like almost 2,000 square feet. It was 1,400 back in, I want to say 1960. So you're getting much bigger houses with different building materials that are, a little bit more expensive.
Oh, in the chat, I do not know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. But he said Cleveland, 20 grand. That's a steal. No. I said East Cleveland.
Yeah.
There is a massive difference.
Yeah, that's like saying, you want to get a house in North Royalton. Hey, North Olmsted? No, you're not affording that either. Sorry, buddy.
Snooch points out there's houses in Detroit that are just a few thousand. It also depends on where you're trying to buy. A lot of these people who bitch about the price of housing, they're like, I'm in Portland and I can't afford a house.
Yeah, to that point, that is something I've seen is a lot of people bitching the most about it live in Democratic cities, and they're just like, oh, it's impossible to get a house here. I'm like, it's impossible to get milk there, motherfucker.
Yeah. You're living in expensive places.
Poop walking down the street.
Yeah.
Dude, the apartments in New York, it's literally just a room with a toilet and a refrigerator embedded into the wall because they can't fit it into the room, and it's like $8,000.
Yeah, prison cells start looking good at that point.
Sin Nikki, thank you. Says, thank you, Monk. I've been saying this for years. The building codes alone add a shit ton to the price. Yeah.
Real fast. Thank you, Travis Gardner. Whirlpool is spending $500 million moving production back to the U.S. GE is spending $300 million moving appliance production back to the U.S. 2 examples, but things are getting better. Real change is going to take years. Yeah, it took us decades to get into this mess. Thanks, NAFTA. But it also is going to take us probably 5 to 7 years to really dig our way out of it. But there will be problems in between. That always happens when you have big change. And the tariffs do seem to be working.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep my commute to 45 minutes or less, and that's fair. I get that, but I mean, sometimes, and I'm not saying this necessarily in your case, but sometimes you have to make choices. When your grandparents were, in the house buying years, it was not unusual for them to go, hey, we're living in Cleveland right now, but there's a boom going on in Houston. I'm moving to Houston. And now people are like, I shouldn't have to relocate.
Yeah. Well, I have to relocate and take a job that makes less money. Well, if you move to a cheaper area, you don't need to make as much money.
Yeah.
It's called cost of living.
Gigi, thank you. The MAGA riff boils down to weirdos wanting instant gratification on price drops and whoever else was promised versus patience is a virtue. Fuentes wants his catboy bussy. God, I hate that word. And he wants it right now. Yes.
Yes, he does.
It is a problem we have with the youth in America. And by youth in America, I'm going millennials and lower, where do you remember when millennials were mad because they were coming out of college and weren't instantly getting top tier jobs?
Yeah, and they were demanding manager positions right out the gate with top pay. No, sometimes you got to work your way up. I have to work?
Yeah.
Well, they probably took offense when they brought in their gender studies degree and the person interviewing them wiped their ass with it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Oh, God, I was hoping somebody brought me some toilet paper. Thank you.
People want to buy the house they want, even if they aren't houses they can afford. Yeah, and we saw how that happened, or what happened with that with the subprime mortgage crisis.
Look, if the Somalis can have it, I should be able to have it too.
I should be able to steal it too. One of the problems I have with some of the younger generations is they use a phrase that really concerns me, and that is "I deserve."
Yes.
Anytime somebody says that, or they say "I want," I get a little suspicious. Like, I want a big house, and that translates, when you really get into it, to "I deserve." No, you don't deserve anything.
It used to be, I want a big house, so I'm going to work really hard for it so I can afford it. And now it's, I want a big house, so you should give it to me.
Yeah, it translates to, I want a big house because I deserve it.
Yep.
And that is very, very unsettling to me. How many the level of entitlement that we have seen over the past 15 years has skyrocketed. It has gotten worse every year. We've seen more and more people come out and say what they think they deserve, and it keeps getting to be more and more. I deserve health care. I deserve housing. I deserve to be able to take your stuff. But real fast, thank you, Evolved Potato. A problem with that is they are selling houses like the ones boomers bought, ? I'd buy a house without solar, without air conditioning, without a lot of stuff, but there isn't many of them left. They aren't allowed to even sell them anymore here.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys have really goofy rules on what you're allowed to have out there. I don't understand that. But it's a control thing. That if they can keep you broke, you'll just be focused on work and not paying attention to all the destruction they're doing to your freedoms.
When we had our deck redone, a good portion of the money that we paid for it was for the various different permits for a rather small deck with a set of stairs on it. Because this is a way that the governments make money, is all their different building codes. Some building codes are good, don't get me wrong. But some of them, like, do you know that there are specific sizes for stairs?
Yeah.
Like, they have to be a certain level apart, which, by the way, the ones in my area, I hate the approved ones. I have an issue with stairs, I'm just saying.
What, you? I'm shocked.
But there's so many of these fucking building codes and stuff. And again, some of it is good. Like, I guarantee you, when that massive earthquake hit San Francisco back in the 80s, a lot of the homes from the 60s went away.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea to have some building codes out there. I don't need earthquake building codes here in fucking northern Michigan.
You shouldn't have to have like an EPA approved wetlands check for everything you do either. Some of the standards are ridiculous, but it's designed so you have to pay for yet another service.
Thank you, good little Groiper. So, since you let it slip how much you love the word, now every donation will have to include the word bussy. I've made it very clear many times how much I hate that word. It's gross. Don't worry. I reserve the right not to say words in donations.
Fact.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
Have to.
I'm at 2.5 hours and I need to get some sleep tonight. So we're going to wrap this one up. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the tips. You guys are awesome. Really can't tell you how much we appreciate that you come out and just hang with us every night. Jack, anything you want to show? Hello?
I think he was talking to somebody or something.
I will drop some links into the chat. Thank you guys so much for the tips. You guys are awesome. Check out my review of Dancing Ninja. It was a movie with David Hasselhoff, of all people. That should tell you all you need to know.
Satsu, anything you want to show?
Not really. I still sell spices. And also, Monkey, hit me up after this.
Yeah. Thanks to Scribbles for hanging out with us earlier. Don't forget to check out his channel at Scribe Light here on YouTube. Gentlemen, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Fuck off.
Everybody take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I already said fuck off.
I will try to be earlier tomorrow.
No, you won't.
But I'll probably fail.
Because you're going to be